Hello and welcome back to the channel. It is me, Delmico L. Cunningham, better known as Dr. Media. So, I have had a couple of questions that have arisen in the last, I don't know, 24, 48 or so hours. And one of those questions is how to retopo inside of Maya 2015. So, what I'm going to do is show you how to bring in a high poly character and actually retopo that with the new Quaddraw, well, not really new, but the new modeling toolkit that's inside of Maya. And as you can see, I am still using Maya 2015. For me personally, I do not have a reason to upgrade yet. Now, the other thing that I will say is that for my version of Maya, I have also installed the bonus tools. So a lot of the bonus tools are in here, and they really do a lot when it comes to UVing. So there's some new UVing tools and animation tools. This is not a tutorial on the bonus tools, but I will be probably using some of these bonus tools to actually unwrap the model, which is actually very nice. It's something that Maya has needed for a very long time. So you can download the bonus tools from the Maya area website, and you can do that at your own leisure. So I'm going to show you actually a student has provided a fantastic model. Mr. Payne provided me with this model, and I thank him greatly for this, letting us kind of use his model here inside of Maya. So what I'm going to show you to start off with, I'm going to show you how to load the model up. So this model that we are currently using is a decimated ZBrush model, and it's still at about 90,000 tries or so. So it's still a pretty high res mesh. One thing that Maya 2015 lets you do is be able to cache your items as alembic caches. Now, if you're saying like, what's an alembic cache? Well, a alembic cache is basically a cached file of your 3D data that can actually be loaded directly into the GPU, which is actually really pretty cool. And let's make sure that this is okay. There we go. Yeah, we go. So this is the Maya file that was provided, and let's get rid of this retopo that's already happening in here, and let's throw this out. So I'm just going to look at my outliner so I can quickly get to it. So one thing you'll notice inside of Maya right now, like I have movement. It's a little bit slow. It's a little bit chunky. It happens at times. It gets a little slow. I'm really able to kind of move around my model pretty well, but it gets a little bit slow. So I'm going to show you how to be able to save this out as a alembic cache file, and then be able to bring that cache file back into Maya. And once you do that, you still can use this as a regular piece of geometry, except because it's being cached in the GPU, it will, if you have a strong enough GPU, it will actually run a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my model first. So you can see right now it's kind of hard to make selections of my model. It wants to kind of stutter, and the machine that I'm on is not a slow or saggy machine by any means, but when you have a lot of topology inside of Maya, it can get very laggy. So to fix that, I'm going to come here and I'm going to make sure, and let's actually see. So I'm going to see if we can get to this from our normal thing. We can. So here underneath pipeline cache, I'm going to go to GPU cache, and I'm going to say I want to export the selection. So right now what I currently have is the whole model. So the whole model is currently selected. So I want to cache that, and I want to say current frame, and I don't care about this evaluation and all this other stuff. Tensillation, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to say use smoothing, and then I'm going to do Ogawa Maya 2014 extension 1. So I'm going to leave it on the Ogawa preset that's sitting right here, and I'm just going to say export, and I'm going to export this. I've already done it, and I'm just going to say export female underscore model. Now the file that you will get out of Maya will be what we call an ABC file. I know it's kind of not Michael Jackson 5's ABC 1 2 3. It's just an ABC file. So the ABC file is the Alembic file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and say new and open up a brand new Maya document. So there's nothing in here. There's nothing up my sleeve. As you can see, there's nothing in there. So there's nothing in this file. And what I want to do is go here to pipeline cache, GPU cache, and I want to say import. And I'm going to import the female underscore model.abc and import it. And give it a second, and we can see now that I don't have the stuttering issue with trying to select the model. It actually selects pretty quickly, and all of this is being read from a file on the desktop that's running in the GPU. Now you might say, well, why is that even important? Why would I even care that it's running in the GPU? Well, the way that Maya sees this right now is that it's not doing constant draw calls to be able to render this to the actual environment. It's just reading that file and doing it that way. So it's like it's being cached. So it's not recalculating the 3D data every time you move your viewport. The data is set and you're reading it from a file. So you can't edit it. So the thing about this is, and it doesn't matter that I can edit this because I don't really need to. I just need to be able to draw retopo on this. So what I want to do for this, I'm going to go in here and go to my channel box, and I'm just going to make a brand new layer just to put this cache on by itself. So I'm just going to say add selected, and you still can reference it and do things like that. And this is going to be my ref. So I'm going to go ahead and do some housekeeping and keep things very clean, neat, and tidy right now. So I can turn that off and on. What I really want to be able to do is select my model. So I want to select it really quick, and I just referenced it like an idiot. So I'm going to select my model, and right here in my interface inside of Maya, you'll see there's a magnet. There's a couple of magnets, but this last magnet is what's very important. This last magnet is the make selected object live. So if I click on that, my object is now live. And when you make something live, you can no longer click it, which is fine. I still like having the ability to turn the layer off and on. Like I still like having that functionality. That's why I put it on a separate layer by itself. So you can see now Maya is actually spinning pretty quick. I'm able to move around inside of Maya pretty fast, which is nice. So I want to start retopoing this model. So I'm going to come here to the very first icon right next to my show attribute editor. I actually have the brand new toolkit inside of Maya, which is not really, like I said before, it's not really brand new, but it's been around probably since I think 2013, 2014. Maybe 2014. So it's the Show Maya Toolkit. So I'm going to click on this, and there's my Maya Toolkit. And in here, I have some mesh editing tools. I have my Quad Draw tool, my Connect tool, Extrude, Bridge, Bevel, Multi-Cut, and Target Weld. So I'm just going to get my Draw tool. I'm going to get my Quad Draw. The Quad Draw tool is nice because what that lets me do is be able to draw quads onto my model. So let's start on my model. I'm actually going to start in a place where I usually don't start at. I'm going to start here on the nose. So I'm just going to click. So I'm just left mouse clicking, drop in some points. And what's really nice about this is when I draw in 4 points, I can then come back in here and hold down the shift key and then left mouse click. And that lets me draw my actual polygon. So now that I have one polygon, I can actually now just put 2 more vertices and then drop that in there too. And then so on and so forth. So I can just keep following this all the way around. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just making my low poly on top of this high poly model. So you can see I'm kind of chugging through this pretty quick. And I wanted to start with the nose this time because a lot of people always have problems with the nose. For some reason, the nose gives them issues. And just to show you that it's not a hard place. I'm going to get my bevel tool, grab and select that polygon and then bevel that in, get my Quad Draw tool, and you can see that I now have something I can push up in there to make the nostril inside of my model. Now I can also smooth these. If I hold down the shift key by itself, that lets me relax my actual topology. So I can come in here and hold down shift and relax pieces of my model, which is very nice. And if I have my Quad Draw tool and I just use my left mouse button, I can mouse over vertices and move vertexes around. I can also mouse over edges and move edges around. and I can click on polygons and move polygons around. But they're all bound right now. All that geometry is actually bound to the high poly model. So I'm gonna keep using my quad draw, and I'm gonna come in here and let's say like right. And when I'm first starting out with this, I try to make really large polygons because I can always subdivide these. That's the nice thing about them. I can subdivide them. So I've got that. I probably should have waited to do this, and I'm actually going to undo this, and you'll see why. I'm going to undo that beveling. So let's undo that. There we go. Leave it back here. So I'm going to still do what I was about to do. Hold down Shift, add this one, and then I can add that one. That's why, because I didn't want to have to do all that extra work to connect that. So I've got that. And the cool thing with this is that you can go to any part of your model. You don't have to be in one place. I can come up here and start working on the eye if I chose to. So I could come in here and, you know, put this here, and then start bridging this stuff together. So I could do stuff like this and actually bridge this. And you can also hold down the control key. The control key lets you drop in a loop edge. So I can drop in a loop right there, and then now I can come back and move this. So you can see this goes pretty quick when you use your tools the right way, because realistically, retopo should not take forever. It's something that has to be done for high poly models. If you're planning on, especially if you're planning on using them in a game engine, and you just want to take the high poly detail but not take the all the topology with it. So this is something that's very useful. You need to have this skill in your digital toolbox. So I still have my quad draw tool, so I'm gonna come in here and keep drawing. Now I'm only gonna draw half the head because I can mirror it over. Now what I'm planning on doing is, because this model is asymmetrical, so right now the model is asymmetrical because the tentacles are kind of flowing through each other and everything else. What I plan on doing is actually not including the tentacles and actually just grabbing a polygon right here and probably just pulling the tentacles out, because there's not a quick way to be able to do multiple slices and cuts like that with your quad draw tool. The retopo tools inside of Maya are adequate, but they're not the best in the world. There are some other programs that have a better set, at least in my opinion, they have a better set of retopo tools. One of the best of those is probably the program that started it all for retopology, which is actually TopoGun. TopoGun's been around for a very long time. If you want to find tutorials for it, I actually have some tutorials on TopoGun. If I uploaded them, I don't know if I uploaded them or not. I'll have to check, make sure if I uploaded them. I've used TopoGun for years. TopoGun's a really great program. The only thing that you can do inside of TopoGun is actually retopology, and you can bake your high poly stuff in there, but it's not meant to be a modeling program. It's really supposed to be a retopology tool, and that's really what it's used for, and it does that job really awesome. So I give mad props to the guys over there with TopoGun. I don't think TopoGun's in active development anymore, but it's still a viable project or program to use rather. So I'm just going to make my way around the eye. And on the eyes, I always make sure that I have an edge in the corner of the eye. I don't want to have a vertex in the corner of the eye, just because when I go to smooth it, I know it'll smooth a lot better by having the edge there, and I have less topology, but when I go and soften it, it'll look round. Like it will look round without having to have a whole bunch of extra topology. So boom, and I'm just going to put this right here and go boom, boom, and go back and clean this up. So clean that up. So you can see I've got the nose, I've got the going down into the mouth. You really need to pay attention to how you work with your polygons, and I'm talking about being able to use them to the best of their abilities without under or overusing them. You don't want to stretch them too far, but you don't want to have them too close together either. It's this fine line balancing act that you have to kind of figure out on your own. There's not a, hey, if you do this, it'll always be right type of thing. It's one of those, try this, and if it's close, it'll work, right? So I'm going to hold down Control. If I hold down Control, you can see, look at that. It gives me a whole loop edge around the eye, which is really nice, which is what I want. So I'm going to click, boom, drop that in there. Now I can drag this down to the eyelid, like down here, and get this closer here, this closer, 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 and booyah. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice right there. I like that. Heh, Peter. So I've got these pieces and I'm able to lay this stuff out and keep this right there. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. And I'm probably going to throw in another loop edge just to capture this right here. Because with a retopoed model like this, you want a lot of that. You want a huge amount of those loops to be around the eyes, especially if you're gonna animate this. Like if you want to animate this later, you're gonna appreciate that you put loop edges around the eyes, so that you can get that expressive feeling with your model. So let's just pull this stuff. So right here it can be a little bit tighter and it can spider web out. Now the other thing is, and I like to go this way, whichever edge ends up being sort of in the middle of my eye, I use that to follow this down to the edge of the mouth. So, because part of the muscle that runs in the face actually runs the same way, where this muscle kind of runs here and across the jaw or the cheek and then runs down towards the mouth. So I'm going to follow that with my 3D topology. So you can see I can click down points on my model and then move them around with my left mouse button. I'm going to hold shift and click, shift, click, shift, click, and then I'm starting to go into the mouth. And you can see right here I could actually leave this one big polygon, or I could start to bridge this stuff together. So you can see, look at that, I'm able to bridge this. Let's bridge. And it looks like I need to add another loop right here, so I will. So I'm going to add another loop right here, and then hold shift and bridge and bridge. And I could have another loop right here. So I could do this. I could do that and then put a triangle like right here. So I could do this, and I'll show you how I can get rid of this. Because you're probably like, well, Dr. Cunningham, Dr. Media, you've got a quad and a triangle. Well, I'm going to show you how you can cut out this triangle. It's actually pretty simple. When you end up with a quad with a triangle like that, usually you would end up taking this topology all the way down through the face and you've got another line. But I can see right here, I really don't need this line to keep going this way. I really don't. What I really need is topology across the lip so I can have more area for the lip. So what I'm going to do is get my multi-cut tool, and I'm going to cut this edge here, cut this edge here, cut this edge here, and then cut this edge here. Hit enter and go back to my quad draw tool. What I want to do, you'll see there's a polygon, there's an actual vert right there. I'm just going to take this and drag it to the because right now if you look at my quad draw tool, the auto weld function is on. I'm just going to grab this vertice and then drag it right here. And what it did was it actually welded that together. And if you notice, what I actually have now, instead of having a triangle and a quad, this is now a quad. What I did was I cut that line, ran it back through my mesh this way, and I still have this quad configuration, and I still have all of the loop edges and everything else that I need. So once you spend more time working with topology, those types of things will become commonplace, that you're able to be able to turn geometry back in on itself, because you should not have to have that geometry flow all the way through your mesh. It shouldn't have to go all the way through the body just because you need to add some topology in one place. That's not how it works. Modeling doesn't work that way. So you don't need to have topology where you don't need topology. So I'm going to bring this stuff out a little bit. Down, down, down through the slumber. So get this stuff down here. There we are. Let's get a little bit cleaner and spread this out. I'm kind of fanning this stuff out. And then I can hold down shift and I can smooth this. Relax it rather. So that looks kind of good. So I'm going to keep going with this. I am going to lay down points right here. So kaboom, kaboom, and kablowie, and booyah. So I've got this stuff here, and gonna just grab this stuff, and there we go. There's my mouth. And let's keep going. Let's pull this stuff up. Actually, let's go ahead and pull this stuff down to the bottom of the lip where we already have this. And this over here, and this over here, and this over here. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da. Obla-dee, obla-da. Life goes on? Yes, it does. So I'm going to hold down control and do another loop edge. You can see my loop is perfect. It loops all the way through the mouth the way it's supposed to. So it loops through the mouth. There we go. And I can then pull this stuff closer in here and just do it this way. I could have made the additional polygons and did it that way too. That would have also worked. But I just felt like doing it with a loop edge and just manually moving them. No way is wrong. Either way you want to do it is right. It's just, how are you going to get through it the quickest? So what's the quickest way for you to be done? Because that's what this comes down to. Like I said before, your retopo should not take days and days and days and days. Your retopo should be very quick, and you're able to make it through it and be done. So got all that. That's cool. That's cool. Got that. There we go. So all that stuff right there is working well. And I still have my quad draw tool active. So I'm going to come in here and do a couple points so I can get another ring of verts out, and then quickly go back, hold down shift, and just click and just add. So I've got all those. You want to have a huge amount of topology in places that deform. In places that don't deform, there's no need in having all that extra geometry. Like it's pointless. It's not going to do anything for your model. So don't have it if you don't need it. That's the old adage. If you don't need it, don't have it. Tell that guy that exactly. So got all that, and that's cool. That's cool. You're cool. You're cool. And booyah. And this is going up her forehead. She doesn't need a bunch of polygons up here. So you can see the cluster of my topology is here around the eye, here around the mouth, and then where that starts to move away from the face or from those loops, I get a little bit bigger and bigger with my polygons because I don't need them as much. I don't need those polygons to be there to be able to help to deform things. Because that's really why they're so tightly packed, because at those places on your model, you're probably going to be doing deformations, and you need them to deform correctly. So you need a lot of polygonal geometry there. But as you move away from those polygons or those areas, you don't need the same amount of topology. It can be a little lighter in other places. So got that. That's cool. That's cool. That's good. That's pretty good. I'm gonna hold down shift and do a little bit of a relax on this, just a little bit. Not gonna get crazy, because your relax will pull sometimes in opposite way of what you want it to do. It'll be like, no, I'd rather not go that way. I'd rather go this other way. So that's good. Now, one of the problems that students usually end up with, or people usually end up with, is that once they come out of the face and they have all these loop edges, when they get down here to the neck, it's like, well, how does the neck connect to the body? Because I don't have that many loop edges going around the body. So you can decimate that down. You can actually use the trick that I showed you before of being able to take, that triangle and kind of bringing that decimation down a little bit, so and disseminate those down. So I'm gonna make some adjustments. I don't think this should be quite that big. I think this should be a little bit smaller. And maybe this right here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's a little bit more even. that fits my sensibilities right there. So that's there. Yes, yeah. So booyah and kabuya, kabuya. Because like I said, as we go up the head, I don't need that much topology back here where those things are happening at. And I'm gonna come back in here and put my pieces down. Now I'm only gonna make mention of this because it's probably popping up every now and again. If you are seeing a little blue square pop up on up on my screen, don't freak out. Nothing's happening weird. I'm just using my 3D mouse, which I love my 3D mouse. And so you'll see that little blue little dot right there. That's the actual gimbal for the 3D mouse. And if you don't know what a 3D mouse is, I suggest going to Connexion and checking out the 3D mice. They do have a really inexpensive model, but most of them are pretty expensive. I have an older, like they don't even have the model that I have. They don't even have it on their website anymore. It's the older Space Pilot one, so it has like a little screen with it, which I really like. I like the fact that I have the LCD screen on it because I can set up hotkeys and I can actually see what those hotkeys are before pressing the button. And some people actually don't think that 3D mice increase productivity, but I'm sorry, that's because they don't have one. If you are blessed to be able to get a 3D mouse, then definitely invest in one. They are a great value add to your do that, put another loop around there. They're a great value add to your arsenal of tools. They're really easy to learn how to use. There's not really a learning curve for it. I mean, I guess not. I was used to playing 3D games that had alternative interfaces, so I was cool with it. It wouldn't really bother me. So I'm gonna do that. There we go. So that's looking good. So her face is almost retopoed completely. Just gonna go down here and start getting into the neck. So boom, 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 boom. And this is the area where students or just artists usually end up getting in trouble because they've got all of this other stuff kind of laid out. And when they start getting down here, it's like, okay, well, I don't really need all these vertices anymore. So what do I can do with these? Well, I'm gonna show you a quick way you can get rid of these. So as I get down farther, I don't need them. So I'm gonna merge this with this, and then merge this with this. Now you might be like, well, Dr. Cunningham, that's madness, because now you got two triangles there. Well, yeah, I do. I have two triangles there, but if I come in here with my multi-cut tool, I can actually get those two triangles out. And like if I came in here, or I could just come in here and hold down control and click across those two, and now you'll see I have a quad and a quad. So it's really hard to see. I'll turn my mesh off real quick. But you'll see by cutting across those two triangles, and I'll actually undo it. So I'll turn it off and do it. So you'll see right now I have two triangles, triangle here, triangle there. But by using my actual, by just cutting this, use my multi-cut tool and just cut this just like that, boom, boom, hit enter, you'll see now I actually, once again, have a quad, a quad, a quad, and a quad. Pretty awesome. So I'm not going to move anything because right now my reference is turned off and it would slide off the surface. So back to my modeling toolkit, and then in here I can then grab this and pull this down like this and pull this like that. And that's good, that's good, that's good. I could even come back in here and hold control and add a whole loop in or all the way around this so I can be able to get the chin the way I want. So there's the chinny chin chin, and then this, and then this. But what that really, what that kind of little double cut right here did is it eliminated 2 points. So instead of having 4 going down, I now only have 2 more going down right here, and I'm able to keep that topology nice and clean. So that's actually what's very useful about it. I'm gonna hold Shift and do some smoothing. There we go. Hoorah. That looks nice and clean. Oh, I'm in her breast. That's weird. I'm gonna get out of there. And yeah, there we go. So what I might end up doing is taking this and bringing this up here like this, just so when I weld this together on the other side, or just cutting this across here. And there's a lot of different ways I can start to remove this out even more. So that's all going well, and I'm gonna keep down the neck. And hold Shift. Boom. 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 And that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. You can see that next row is actually pretty clean. It doesn't have that same thing going down farther and farther and farther. Sorry, I'm trying to get in there and get a good angle on her. And hold down that Shift button right there, and I'm gonna get that Shift button right there. I got it down. And I'm gonna hold down that Control button and put a loop all the way around there. See that? She got her neck. Her neck looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. So clean up the neck a little bit. Boom. Boom. Now I do probably want this a little tightly packed, because the neck would be another area that there might be flex and stuff happening in, and you know, neck movements, you know, muscles, larynx. If you want to add that, if you want to get that super cool about it, add it. Give her a larynx. She'll be thanking you later. So, that's going on through there, and let's just keep going. Let's keep it. Let's keep it going. Shibuya, yeah, Shibuya roll call, and booyah. Hold on, Shift, plop, and shouldn't need one right there. Here, boop, 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 and oh, you don't need that one. That one was a miss. Oh no. That one was unneeded. And let's come there. That's very weird. Okay, there we go. And that guy is left right there. And I'm sure mousing over him and deleting got rid of those guys, but I suppose not. That's weird. That's actually pretty funky. I thought that mousing over them and being able to delete was proper etiquette to delete them. I guess it's not that big of a deal. I can just use it down here. You know, it's not a huge deal. And boop, boop, boop. And back into the body. So neck, 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 back into the body. Things are going well. I'm gonna move this stuff and arrange, 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 arrange. Now you could be saying, you could say, well, Dr. Cunningham, you know, there's a lot of topology going back into the body. You know, are we going to be able to support all this? Well, yeah, you can. I'm just kind of capturing some of the detail. When you're doing retopology, you have to make sure anything that's going to break the actual visual silhouette needs to have topology for it. So like on her neck, she's got like the muscles in her neck. So you need to have something that's going to capture that detail so you can have that detail as you go along with this. So this right here, I'm going to use this to go into the ear. The ear is going to be fun, and I mean that facetiously because it's not going to be fun at all. It's going to be a horrible, horrible place, but we'll get through it. We will get through it. Oh no! Alright, so oh. And I probably won't want to do too many of those at one time because topology is changing so much. I don't want to skew something and then realize and go back and I'm like, oh, that's horrendous. So I'm going to stick with just doing maybe one at a time just to capture the ear. So all the way around. Boop. Boop. The ear is another place where it's very important to be able to get your topology out and be able to keep it without running it through the rest of the whole entire head. So something like that. And let's say we do something like that, and then that, and then I end up with like a single triangle like right there, which isn't horrible. I think I can live with that triangle being right there, just because the rest of the ear came out decent and it's all quadded out. So I believe I can live with that one little triangle right there. You know, the one thing to say when looking at this stuff is triangles are not bad. Do not believe the hype. Triangles are not bad. They're not horrible people. They're just trying to make a living for their kids, for their baby polygons. That's all. Man, leave them alone. Leave Brittany alone. So you can see this is the ear actually came together pretty quick. Look at that. Boom, boom. Slice and dice. And there's a quad. And there's a quad. And it looks like I might need to I might need to add in a multi-cut like right here. I think I want to cut this. And actually I can get rid of that triangle. So I'm going to cut it back to the triangle, get back and get my quad tool, and just grab the triangle right here and just weld that. So now the triangle's gone. My ear is still there. That really big polygon right there is, it's kind of bothering me, but I guess I could live with it. It's not that big of a deal. But I'm going to pull this back. There we go. There we go, Joe. Pull this up. This here. Just kind of cleaning this up a little bit. And that's there, that's there. Weld that. And then hold shift. And bloop. There's my last polygon for that ear. And I can keep on moving on back with the attack. Spiliak, 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 Spiliak. There we go. Show, oh yeah, there we go, we're out. We're out. We're out. And I'm gonna get back here and keep doing this. No, I'm probably gonna do this. And let's just do it like this. And then I'll just grab this and I can weld it. It's always a nice trick too. Just put your point down where you want it and then just drag it where you want to weld it to. That also works. And looks like some weirdness is happening because I'm on the back side of these polygons. It's okay. Yeah, some weird stuff is happening because I'm on the back side of these. And it's going cuckoo. It's going a little cuckoo. It's okay. It's just hard to be able to select some of those because of where they are. So I just move this like that just so I can get a hold on it. It's really tight quarters in here, so there we go. So that right there, quad, and right here, quad. So it's going back from the ear. So you can see it's going pretty quick, right? It's going pretty quick. As I said, you want to think about where you're going to put in topology at and where you're going to have higher topology levels and then lower topology levels. And whoa, that was weird. Redo. There we go. I don't want that. Yeah, it says delete him. Put this back in here and boop. That guy's in there. So that's in there. I kind of want to do a cut this way. So I kind of want to take this cut here, go up here, cut into this because I'm crazy. And now I've got this triangle here to deal with, which is, it's not fine. I mean, it actually is fine. There's actually nothing wrong with having that triangle right there, but I just want to have this so I can pull this down to be around the back of the ear the way that I want. So now I can get this like behind the ear. Like right there. Isn't that cute? Isn't it cute? So right there. Shift, boom. Shift, boom. And I don't know what's going on right here. There we go. Boom. I got that. It's just a really bad angle on this, which is why it's kind of giving me that weirdness. And I am gonna use my multi-cut tool. I'm gonna cut right there, just so I can give it a little bit more puffiness to get the back of the ear, so it doesn't look all flat like. And I'm gonna cut on around here. And oh no, that's not, no. The multi-cut tool is a horrible date. Oh god, it cut that up. You know what? Quad draw. I'll just weld these out, dude. Yeah, you have to be very careful with the quad draw tool because it will destroy your life. You'll be like, hey quad draw tool, and it'll be like, hey buddy, what's going on? And all of a sudden, it's taking your model and it's actively tinkling on your model, and you're like, quad draw tool, that's not nice. And it's like, ha, you thought I was your friend. I'm a tool inside of Maya. I'm a Maya tool. I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want, buddy. So boop. And I need to see what's happening with that because I feel like some stuff got jumbled up. Yeah, it did. Ooh, yeah. Ugh. en français. What is this? Ow. Ow now. Weldies. La da ding, la da da. I want to get my multi-cut tool and cut, 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 enter. So look at that. I got rid of another triangle. Ha ha. Well, ain't I fancy? And I want to get this edge right here and delete it. I don't want that edge. So it looks like that did a decent job for us. Got an end gun right here. It's a really weird looking end gun. Can I live with it? Can I live with it? Nah, I want to cut it. Just because there's like a bulge part to the ear right there. So I want to actually be able to bulge the ear the way that it is set up to be. And enter. Some of this, there's not really there's a rhyme and reason for it, but you kind of have to just you have to feel your way through it. Like there's not going to be like, hey, whenever you're doing this type of character, do this exactly, and it'll all come out perfectly. This is more one of those things where it's like, hey, buddy, this is kind of like the way you want it, and figure it out. It's kind of like college, right? It's like, oh, why is it so hard? And you're like, oh, because it's life. Oh, well, dang it, darn it all. And I think all of that looks good now. I'm okay with what's going on in the nether regions of his neck, or her neck rather. Yeah, I'm okay with what's going on back here now. So let's actually pull this close to the head. That's the back of the ear. There we go. Oh yeah, sexy neck. She got that sexy neck. Mm. Mm mm mm. Mm mm mm. That's the way love goes. Got that. Booyah. And I got most of her face done. So about an hour so far we're at. If I wasn't going through explaining it as doing it, I probably could have finished her head in, I don't know, like probably 20-30 minutes. Just be able to go through. Now there are parts you have to slow down on, like the ear right now, because the ear is giving me, I don't say it's giving me issue, it's just I have to be very careful with the ear, because I want to be able to have the structure of the ear and not just have a lot of bloated polygons. And we can already see my poly count. If I come in here and look at heads up display and look at my poly count, boop, come on, click it. There we go. So right now I am at 200 faces, and that's 399 triangles. I'm actually not bad. Now when I finish this, the face is probably, just for the base face, I'm not counting the tentacle pieces or anything like that. Actually, I will count that. So for the face, if I'm at about 200 right now, I probably can get away with another, I'd say 60 or 70 for the back of the head. That'll put me in the 270 range. So my whole head will put me at approximately about 540. And with the tentacles and everything else, I would probably guess I'd probably be somewhere in the range of maybe 600 or 700 for the head alone. The body will not be anywhere near that same amount, because some of these things I can get done with really, really simple shapes. So that's that. What I will start doing is doing maybe the actual breast. So I'm just gonna put a dot here, one here, and one here, one here, one here, one here, and is that what I'm thinking? Yeah, yeah. So, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I know, right? It's pretty cool. She has a box on her nipple, box nipples. It's a thing. It's gonna catch on. Watch. It's like Kool-Aid. You know, I don't know. So I'm gonna go out farther with this. Keeps my topology low though. Ha ha. Ha ha ha, mon frere. Ooh, y'all. Look at that. 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 Boom. 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 I don't know why I'm saying boom all the time. I think in a previous life, I was a stick of dynamite. I'm sticking with that story. I was a stick of dynamite. Okay. Okay, there it goes. And dooyah. Dooyah, dooyah, dooyah. Tentacles are kind of a little bit in the way, but I can work around them. They're not that bad. It wants to snap to that tentacle geometry, which is really funny. So look at that. Neck's connected. The neck bone's connected to the breastbone. That's not how that works. That's so not how that works. And that's going there. That's good. And this right here, let's make sure we get the right angle on this. Is that where I want it? Yep, that's where I want it. There we go. And this is going to be my shoulder. This is going to create my shoulder coming out here. That. Praise him. Praise him. Gonna relax this a little bit. So boop. Boop boop. Boopity boop boop boop. There we go. Boob. Boop boop. This one here. I don't think I want to do it that wide. Let's do. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I like that better. That's a better configuration. Exit. Stage right even. Snagglepuss. That's really big. I'm gonna make this a little bit less stretched. And maybe add in another cut right here. Maybe. There we go. Is that working? Do I like that? Do I like it? Oh, I like it. Oh, I like it. I adore you. So you can see my retopo. If you take the time and realize how topology works on a model, you can retopo something fairly quickly. And I'm gonna try to go ahead and retopo most of her, just because I need to use her for another part of this project, which is showing how to be able to transfer her normals from the high poly to the new retopoed low poly. And I want to be able to do that. So unfortunately, I'm not going to sit here and have you all watch me retopo all of her, because I think the point is proven, right? Like, so, doing the retopo is not really super hard. It's just time consuming. So just take your time with your retopo. Try to get loop edges. Don't just blatantly just throw in geometry and you're like, oh yeah, that looks right. That looks right, Fred. Hey there, Fred. Because it doesn't. It doesn't look right. And Bonnie, rubble with no. So keeping this stuff nice and spread out. And booyah, 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 booyah base. And just making these big polygon connections Welcome to the big polygon connector. Nano nano. Yes, it was a Mork and Mindy reference. Because Robin Williams is dead and I'm sad. Boom. So there's his or her. I don't know why I keep calling him a. I don't know why I keep calling her a him. I apologize to her. I apologize to her. I apologize to her delicate feminine sensibilities. So all this stuff is yeah. That's all good in the. That's all good in the, as they say, neighborhood. I'm gonna actually cut this right here. It's a little too large for me because I need that little hump right there. So I'm gonna cut. I just cut it. You remember you can cut with the control key. Just control and just blow it out. You know what I'm saying? Just blow it out, man. There we go. It's all right there. I'm going to use that to follow the back of the contour of this large noggin of hers. She got a huge head. She got a Beyonce type head. I know. I'm going to take flack for that. You're like, you can't talk about the queen bee like that. Who you think you is? I'm like, I'm a doctor, dang it. I'm a doctor, Jim. So I'm just going to clean some of this stuff out. Big, huge polys. Big, huge poly day. Poly day. Oh, and you know, and the other thing is you don't have to just grab vertices, C's. You can grab edges too and move big old edges. Let them big old edges move. We're gonna float her big old head on big old edges, man. We're gonna get around there, man, on the edge, man. We'll run around there, man. Get on her head. So that's coming along. She's there. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish her retopo, and in the next video I'll be done with her retopo and I will show you how to bake off the high poly version to the low poly version. So we'll do that in the next video.